A disclaimer. This video was written the day after the Manon hiatus announcement was made. The reason you're seeing it a week later is because I plan my content in advance. I usually have my videos finished at least a week ahead of posting. Sometimes even weeks ahead, so I'm not scrambling last minute. Even uploading this is disrupting my schedule, but I felt like it was necessary to address. So if anything new has come out between the announcement and the day this video goes live, it might not be included here. Not because I'm ignoring it, but because this was written in real time based on what we knew at that moment. And one more thing, I usually try to stay calm and measured in my videos. Even when I disagree with something, I try to keep my tone level. But I'm going to be honest, while writing this, I genuinely got heated. Some of the things I saw being said really upset me. So if my tone comes across stronger than usual, that's why. I'm not trying to attack anyone. I'm not trying to spread hate. I'm just speaking honestly about how this situation made me feel. So consider this your warning. This one is a little more passionate than my usual content. The Manon situation feels way too layered and way too unclear for me to just brush off. There are too many moving parts, and every time I try to settle on one explanation, something else pops up that makes it feel off. From HYBE's official statement to Manon's own message, to Daniela's dad allegedly acting shady, to Manon liking a specific creator's video, it's just a lot. So let's break it down calmly. First, let's start with HYBE's statement. Hello. After open and thoughtful conversations together, we are sharing that Manon will be taking a temporary hiatus from group activities to focus on her health and well-being. We fully support this decision. Cat's Eye remains committed to showing up for one another and for the fans who mean everything to us. The group will continue scheduled activities during this time, and we look forward to being together again when the time is right. Thank you to our icons for your continued love, patience, and understanding. AXG. On the surface, this reads like a very standard K-pop company statement. We've seen this format so many times before. Temporary hiatus, focus on health, mutual decision, fully support. It's almost corporate language at this point, so initially I didn't have time to really sit and analyze it. My immediate reaction was honestly just shock. I literally said, "What the hell?" and went straight to TikTok to see what people were saying. That's when I found out that Manon had posted her own statement on Weverse, and that's when things started to feel strange. Manon said, "Hi friends. I want you to hear this from me. I'm healthy, I'm okay, and I'm taking care of myself. Thank you for checking in. Sometimes things unfold in ways we don't fully control, but I'm trusting the bigger picture. Thank you for standing by me. I love you endlessly and can't wait to see you again." Now, this is where the confusion starts. HYBE says she's taking a hiatus to focus on her health and well-being, but Manon explicitly says she's healthy and okay. That's not just reassurance, but directly contradicts the implication of the company statement. I tried really hard not to jump to worst-case scenario thinking. Even with her clarification, I told myself, maybe something else happened behind the scenes. Maybe it's not physical health, maybe it's mental stress, maybe it's internal matters, maybe it's something personal that HYBE didn't want to expose. And maybe Manon felt the need to clarify she's healthy, so fans wouldn't spiral or assume something serious was wrong. Even with rumors about alleged internal documents floating around, I decided not to be dramatic. I didn't want to create a narrative out of incomplete information. But then more layers started coming out. The next thing was Manon liking a video by a creator called The Simply Simone. When I first checked the video, her like was there. I even took a screenshot. But when I went back later to download it, the like was gone. It had been removed. That part really stuck with me.
Why is it that whenever we have a sole black girl in a girl group, she is the victim and the most suffering? It has honestly become a trope in pop culture, especially in music in recent years. The current conversation after news broke last night that Manon will be taking a hiatus from Cat's Eye for her health and well-being. I put out a statement stating that she would be taking a hiatus and that she'll be coming back when she's recovered. But according to Manon on Reverse, she said that she is physically fine. She is just taking time for herself and that things are beyond her control, which has many people speculating that this hiatus was not her decision. If you've been following Cat's Eye since they started back in 2023 at Popstar Academy, you know that Manon has been subjected to the most abhorrent hate. Recently, in the last couple of weeks, she and Daniela, who are the two non-Asian members of the group, have been subjected to unspeakable racism and hate. Specifically, in the case of Manon, her being biracial, she's half Swiss, half Ghanaian. Many people are trying to dictate her black identity and whether or not she is actual representation for young black girls. Imagine you are the only black girl in your group. You have half of the internet berating you, calling you lazy, calling you difficult, saying that you're not giving your equal weight to the group. And then you have the other half of the internet trying to dictate whether or not you are part of the community that you were born into. This is a recurring pattern we've seen for black girls who are the sole black girl in the group. We saw it with Fifth Harmony and Normani. We saw it with Little Mix and Lee. Now we have it with Manon and Cat's Eye. If you remember what Normani and Leanne went through during their times in the group and the internet vitriol, it was damn near traumatic for them and for the black girls that were supporting them. I don't know what the future has for Manon. Whatever it has, I will support her 100%, and she will have the backing of so many people. It really has people looking at both the label as well as some of the group members. If you see someone that you claim to care about and is your sister, why aren't you saying or doing anything to stop the hate?
Because liking a video isn't random, especially in a situation like this. With the video having a certain narrative or opinion about what was happening, that like will be interpreted as agreement or at least acknowledgement, and the fact that it was later removed adds another layer. Was it accidental? Was she told to unlike it? Did she change her mind? We don't know, and that's the problem. Every piece of this situation can be explained in a normal, non-dramatic way. But when you stack everything together, the corporate wording, her subtle contradiction, the sometimes things unfold in ways we don't fully control line, the liked then unliked video, it creates this feeling that something isn't fully transparent. I'm not saying something sinister is happening. I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm just saying it feels iffy. And I think it's okay to admit that without turning it into a conspiracy theory. Right now, the smartest thing to do is stay calm and wait, because speculation can spiral very quickly, especially in K-pop culture. But at the same time, it's also valid to question inconsistencies when they're right in front of us. So I'm not in doomsday mode. I'm not screaming mistreatment or scandal. I'm just observing the facts as they've been presented and acknowledging that they don't fully align. And that's where I'm at with it. But for her to like a video that criticizes not only the company, but also her own members, that's not small. That's not random. Especially when the video touches on race, a topic people are so quick to dismiss unless it directly affects them. And yes, I agreed with the new video. What really gets me is this. Sophia and Lara have spoken up when Daniela was getting heat. They've defended her publicly, but Manon has been dragged for 2 years straight, and not just for performance or personality. She has been dragged for her blackness. And it's not an exaggeration. It's just not fans being dramatic. There has been a visible, repeated pattern. So when the people who claim to love you, who say you're sisters, who say you're family, never publicly defend you while you're being attacked in racialized ways, that's going to raise eyebrows. It's odd, it's uncomfortable, and people are allowed to notice that. Now here's where I get frustrated. The same fans who scream, "Protect the girls," are the first ones to dismiss the racial aspect of the conversation. Instead of listening with open ears, they immediately try to water it down. It's not about race. You're reaching. Just because she liked it doesn't mean she agrees. And that's where the logic falls apart. You're telling me you understand how Manon feels better than she does? You're telling me you know better than Leanne or Normani how racial bias shows up in their own careers. The audacity is wild. If the people who were directly referenced in the video are the ones liking it, maybe, just maybe, there's something there. Maybe it resonates for a reason. But no. Instead, people are way too comfortable dismissing racial issues because it's not part of their reality. And that's the uncomfortable truth. Just because you don't experience something doesn't mean it isn't happening. What you want to be true and what is actually true are two completely different things. And this whole people just want to make everything about race narrative? That's tired. If it wasn't about race, it wouldn't keep following the same pattern. When something keeps happening to the same demographic over and over again, at some point, it stops being coincidence. The way fans respond to discussions about race is honestly more telling than the initial issue. Instead of asking, why might this resonate with her, they jump to defense mode. They act like acknowledging racial bias is an attack. And the just because she liked it doesn't mean she agrees argument? Please be serious. We are not talking about a random TikTok edit. We are talking about a video directly addressing how she has been treated, including racially. Pretending that's meaningless feels intentionally obtuse. I'm not even black, and I found myself genuinely heated reading some of those comments. I literally had to send my brother a 4-minute voice note because I was that upset. Not because I want drama, but because it was disheartening to watch people dismiss something so serious so casually. What really gets me is the lack of empathy. Instead of pausing and thinking, maybe there's something here I don't fully understand, people default to shutting it down. That starts to feel less like disagreement and more like ignorance. And I'm getting annoyed again, so I'm going to wrap up this section. But I'll leave it at this. When conversations about race come up, the bare minimum is to listen, not to minimize, not to dismiss, not to gaslight. Just listen. Now let's talk about Daniela's dad. And before I even get into it, I want to separate a few things clearly. When he said that Cat's Eye is bigger than one girl, he's not wrong. Cat's Eye is a group. They are not one member, and I don't agree with fans saying they're nothing without Manon or that they'll flop without her. That's unfair to the other girls, and it diminishes their hard work. You can support Manon without discrediting everyone else, but that's where my agreement ends. The additional comments he made about Manon were unnecessary and completely uncalled for. If you're upset with icons, direct that frustration at the fandom. There is zero reason to drag another young woman in the process, especially not publicly, especially not when tensions are already high. And this narrative that Manon is lazy, it's actually infuriating. You cannot sit here and criticize companies for forcing idols to perform through injuries, illness, and exhaustion, and then turn around and attack a girl for stepping back to take care of herself. That contradiction makes no sense. Let's not forget, Daniela was literally the first member to go on break, and nobody called her lazy for that. Nobody questioned her work ethic. Nobody said she didn't care about the group. But now, Manon, the girl who has documented back issues, who fainted at the airport, who had to be escorted out in a wheelchair, takes a hiatus, and suddenly she's lazy? Suddenly she doesn't want to work? So what exactly are people expecting from her? Do you want her to push through pain for optics? Do you want her to perform injured so you can call her dedicated? Do you want her to risk permanent damage just to prove something to strangers online? Because that's what it sounds like. We have watched countless idols suffer long-term injuries because they felt pressured to keep going. We've seen careers shortened because companies and fans prioritize performance over health. And now, when someone actually steps back, people are angry. It's like she can't win. If she performs while injured, she's irresponsible. If she rests, she's lazy. You don't have to like her. You don't have to bias her. But questioning her work ethic while knowing she's dealing with health issues is cruel. And the irony is wild. Fans say they care about idols' mental and physical health. They trend hashtags about rest. They preach about boundaries. But when it's someone they already view negatively, all of that empathy disappears. Rest is not laziness. Taking care of your body is not weakness. Protecting your long-term health is not selfish. No stage is worth permanent damage. No comeback is worth destroying your spine. No performance is worth risking your life. If you truly care about these girls, then that care should apply consistently, not selectively. And that's all I'm going to say on that before I get heated again. But here's where I started questioning Daniela, and I want to be careful with how I say this because this is about patterns and accountability, not blind hate. To be clear, before this gets taken the wrong way, I don't think Daniela should be held accountable for her dad's actions or the behavior of the people around her. That's not my point at all. I just personally find it strange when someone consistently surrounds themselves with people who have questionable reputations. That's the part I find odd, not her being responsible for what others have done. When some of the closest people to you feel comfortable publicly trashing a person you've called your sister, that doesn't happen in a vacuum. There has to be an environment that made that comfort possible. If your family feels safe enough to openly speak badly about your friend, especially publicly, that suggests something. People don't usually wake up and decide to disrespect someone their child constantly praises and defends. So naturally, it makes me ask questions. What conversations are happening behind closed doors? What is being said in private? Why is he so comfortable not only thinking those things, but saying them publicly? And yes, whether people like it or not, it does reflect on Daniela to some extent. I'm tired of the automatic "she is not her parents" defense. That statement is true in theory. Of course, you are your own person. But at the same time, the people you surround yourself with, especially the people you publicly stand by, say something about your standards. If my parent was publicly disrespecting my best friend, I would shut that down immediately. Blood does not override morals for me. I would never allow my mother or father to feel comfortable dragging someone I love. And if they did, I would correct it privately and publicly, because silence can look like agreement. And I know some people are going to say I'm reaching. But if I'm openly endorsing my parent while they're expressing harmful views, That says something. If I continue to surround myself with someone who is acting shady, that reflects on my boundaries. Now, let me be clear. I am not saying Daniela orchestrated anything. I'm not saying she told her dad to say what he said. I'm saying, when this keeps happening, when people in your immediate circle act boldly disrespectful, it's hard not to question the environment. And it's not just her dad. There's also her boyfriend, Jonah. He's claimed to be an artist, but there were accusations that he copied or stole from black artists. I can't pull the exact video anymore because I deleted it while clearing my phone, so I'm not going to present that as concrete evidence. But that allegation stuck with me. So when I look at the full picture, a parent publicly trashing someone, your parents supporting the orange guy, a partner accused of questionable behavior, repeated situations involving black creatives, it creates an uneasy feeling. And that's my thing. When the people closest to you consistently move in ways that feel shady or harmful, it's normal to ask, what are you tolerating? What are you co-signing? What are you letting slide? Because character isn't just about what you personally say, it's also about what you allow. Now, am I saying this is definitive proof of anything? No. Am I saying Daniela is secretly some villain? No. I'm saying it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me question things. And that's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I'm not here to force anyone to adopt my perspective. I'm just explaining why I personally feel uneasy. There's a difference between blind hate and critical observation. I'm not attacking her, I'm explaining why certain patterns don't sit right with me. And if that makes people uncomfortable, maybe that discomfort is worth sitting with instead of immediately dismissing. And I'm going to be completely honest here. While she's on hiatus, I'm out. Call it dramatic if you want, but I don't think it's dramatic to step back from something that no longer feels right to you. Especially when there's a real possibility, even if it's small, that this could be a soft launch into phasing her out. Am I saying that's 100% what's happening? No. But I'm also not naive enough to say it could never happen. We've seen how this industry moves. We've seen how narratives are shaped. We've seen how members quietly disappear under the guise of health or mutual decisions. So when people say, you're being dramatic, I just think, and I wonder why I'd even have reason to think like this in the first place. That distrust didn't come out of nowhere. Even if she does come back, I'm at a point where I genuinely don't feel comfortable supporting anything Cat's Eye related right now. And that's not even fully about the group itself. It's about the fandom environment. It's about the constant dismissal, the racial minimization, the character attacks, the selective empathy. It's exhausting. The way this situation has been handled in discourse pushed me further away than the announcement itself did. Supporting a group shouldn't require you to ignore patterns. It shouldn't require you to silence your discomfort. And it definitely shouldn't require you to sit quietly while serious issues are brushed aside as drama. So for now, I'm stepping back. Not because I hate the girls, and definitely not because I want the group to fail, but because I value my peace more than forcing support in an environment that feels off. And as for the phasing out theory, I'm not treating it as confirmed fact. I'm not running with it as truth, but I'm also not dismissing it as impossible. Two things can be true at once. It might not be happening, and it still might be worth paying attention to. That's where I stand.